You're going to want percentile dice. Yep. You'll probably want like some sixes, that kind of stuff as well.
Yep.
So we are, what's the date? October 9th, 2016, Call of Cthulhu. Town Over Tokyo 3. This one is called That Which Survives. Ooh, indeed.
Of us, apparently.
All right, let's see what we got. Let me see what information I can give you guys here. Let me give you some background on the war itself. The war started in September 1st, 1939, when Germany invaded Poland, beginning the war in Europe. Within 2 days, Great Britain and France declared war on Germany. On September 17th, the Soviet Union, a German ally, entered Poland from the east. Soviet Union would go on to invade Finland in November. Germany invades Denmark and Norway the following April. Germany's basically been rolling over everything in Europe. They've just been taking everything. Luxembourg, Netherlands, Belgium, France signs an armistice. In June of 1941, the Nazi Germany and its allies invaded the Soviet Union, though by December 6th, the Soviet counteroffensive drives them from the Moscow suburbs. On December 7th, 1941, a day which will live in infamy, America entered the war when the Empire of Japan bombed Pearl Harbor. As the Empire of Japan is an ally of Nazi Germany, Germany soon declared war on the United States. You guys are part of the 17th Bomb Group, Medium, which consists of 4 squadrons, 24 aircraft total. You were flying anti-submarine patrols from Pendleton, Oregon, but you were immediately moved cross-country to Lexington County Army Air Force Base in Columbia, South Carolina, right after the bombing of Pearl Harbor, or shortly after. Ostensibly, it was to fly similar patrols off the East Coast. However, this was February 9th. You were offered the opportunity to volunteer for an extremely hazardous but unspecified mission, to which everyone was glad to do. On 17 February, you were detached from the 8th Air Force. There were 24 crews, 24 aircraft that were picked. You picked up your modified bombers in Minneapolis, flew them to Eglin Field, Florida, in March of '42. There you received intensive training for 3 weeks, simulating carrier deck takeoffs, low-level and night flying, low-altitude bombing, and overwater navigation, primarily out of Wagner Field. Navigators had to learn. Who's our navigator here?
I am.
Navigators had to learn the works of the Bombardiers. Pilots and co-pilots had to practice every job on the plane, so everybody was familiar enough with the plane that if, say, the pilot and the co-pilot got knocked out, the navigator or the Bombardier could take over for a time being. Even your flight engineer knows enough to fly the plane. Maybe not land it very well, but you could fly this thing. You did extensive testing. Dropping 100-pound bombs from 500 feet proved dangerous, and they shook you guys up pretty badly. So, yeah, that was a little scary. I should have started with character introduction, but we'll get to that once I finish this basic introduction to the game. And for you who've never played before, usually introductions to games don't last quite this long, but I'm going to get you guys all the way up to where you're getting ready to launch your aircraft. So, March 25th, 42, you took off from Eglin for McClellanville, California. You arrived 2 days later. On April 1st, 16 of the bombers were picked. They were put on board the USS Hornet. You were part of the group of 8 that were not initially picked, but it was decided at the last minute to go ahead and send you guys as well. There was something wrong with each of the bombers, or something that wasn't perfect. So at first you were rejected, but then it was decided they would send you, and an old Lexington-class carrier, the USS Brandywine, was actually chosen to join the fleet. There she is. She's an old Lexington-class. This is one of the old carriers from the 20s, but she's fast enough to keep up with the fleet, so your 8 bombers were put on board that aircraft. 8 bombers. 8 bombers were put on board that aircraft, and you guys joined the task force. You'll each be carrying 4 specially prepared 500-pound bombs. 3 are explosives, 1 is incendiaries to drop. You don't know where yet. You haven't been briefed on that yet. The task force leaves. Task Force 18 leaves on 2 April. You've got escort cruisers and destroyers. You're heading east. Are you heading west towards Japan? On 17 April, the slow oilers refuel the task force, and then they withdraw with the destroyers. The carriers and the cruisers continue on eastward towards Japan. It's only after you guys are at sea that Lieutenant Colonel Jimmy Doolittle actually comes over to your craft to give you kind of a background, to tell you what's going on. And you will be bombing Japan with targets of Tokyo, Yokohama, Osaka, Kobe, and Nagoya. You guys will get to choose which target you're going to pick as your target. Once you're to bomb military and industrial targets, fly to one of the several airfields in the Zhejiang province in China. Refuel, continue on to Chongqing. You will fly in low. You'll increase your altitude to 1,500 feet to drop your bombs, and then drop back down once you're over your target. There's to be no bombing of the Imperial Palace in Tokyo. That's specified. Only military and industrial targets. That's a direct order. So I see Mike rolling his eyes over there like, we'll see what happens. But yeah,
accidents happen.
Yeah, so do court martials, so and executions. The attack is going to be scheduled. You guys will launch from in the evening of April 18th. The fleet should be 350 nautical miles from Japan. You will fly over the cities, bomb them, follow the southern coast of Japan down to a couple landmarks, which are like a couple volcanoes, and then head east. Sorry, I keep mixing my east and west up. And then head west along the 29th parallel till you're over China, and start looking for landmarks there and that kind of thing.
Well, who knows? Maybe in this alternate reality, Japan is east of the United States.
No, I always screw up east and west.
It's confusing.
Well, yeah, because we're talking about the Far East, yet we have to go west to go there.
That's what's got me, because I keep thinking the wrong thing. Until the time that you guys launch, your days are filled with mock battle drills, lectures, tinkering with the aircraft, gunnery practice. You're memorizing freaking maps and charts because they don't want anything that can lead you guys back to the fleet. You're ordered that en route, you're going to have some extra 10-gallon cans of gasoline to refuel en route. You're to bundle them together and drop them as one. Don't like chuck them down like one at a time because it'll lead the Japanese right back to the fleet. You're also given you guys get to choose your target cities. You need to pick a primary target. You can pick a secondary, but you should only hit the secondary in the event that you can't actually take out the primary. So as a group, you five get to decide. The pilot has the final call, and you guys will be the number 3 craft that's launching from the USS Brandywine. There are 2 aircrafts ahead of you, and all 18 from the Hornet will be launching before you guys are launching. All the crafts are launching just one at a time. There's going to be like a long string of bombers just coming in and dropping bombs. Excuse me. One of the things that Doolittle said, since it's going to be a night bombing mission, you guys are taking off in the evening, you bomb Japan at night, you should be hitting China in the morning, plenty of light, everything will be cool, you'll be able to see, it's going to be great. He says surprise is our main safety factor. He constantly says this, and you constantly get memos and notes from him saying that the surprise is the main factor here. They don't know we're coming. If anything spoils the surprise, it could be disastrous for the entire mission. But we'll see what happens. So, if you guys want to discuss... Oh, first let's start with character introductions. Alex, who are you playing?
I am playing Lieutenant Isaiah Bean.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about Mr. Bean. What's he look like? Or Lieutenant Bean.
Mr. Bean has a very short, well-groomed mustache that helps him present a little more age than his baby face might otherwise entail.
Okay.
He's a whopping massive man of 5'2". Very intimidating with stature. So
Okay.
I wouldn't rile him up if I was.
Fair enough. Where's he from? You guys kind of know each other, so you would know where you're from, that kind of stuff.
Lawler, Iowa.
From Iowa, okay. And what was his job before the war? Before he joined the war?
Geologist.
He was a geologist. Okay. There you go. Hey. Okay. Mike, co-pilot. Let's go. We'll go on that route.
I am playing Second Lieutenant Thomas Van Loan.
Where's he from?
He is from Lebanon, South Dakota. He went to college for a short time. Took some classes in
It was basically a preparatory class.
12-week
yeah.
civil aeronautics class. So
Civil aeronautics, in order to actually join the U.S. Army Air
yeah,
Force.
so I could join the Army Air Force. I am a 5'9", so slim build. So
Yep, and amazingly good looking.
yes, he is extremely good looking.
Okay. Anything else that you want to tell us about him?
Valedictorian in my class in high school.
Baseball star
Baseball star.
in high school.
Just all around awesome dude.
Okay, who's our navigator?
Me. I am Second Lieutenant Bryan Johnson, otherwise known as Flats, even though I don't really like that name.
Okay.
I come from Flats, Nebraska, which is why I picked up that horrible nickname.
Okay.
I immediately joined the Army, the military, after graduating from high school a year early. I'm young looking and can't even grow a decent mustache.
There you go. Yeah, that's true. You're trying though. You're trying.
It's like, and while I'm slim and not that tall, I'm ready for training and adventure.
Right. Okay.
And it's like, while I don't like my nickname because it's from a boring dead-end town in the middle of Nebraska, I would rather be called something like Journeyman, or if you're going to nickname me after a place, call me Dakota. I've always wanted to live in Dakota.
Okay. You have some extra weapons on you.
I have.
Oh no, it's on the front.
I have a.
Yeah, but he's got extra guns. He actually has 2 rifles. That's your regular list. Everybody has that. Everybody's got your 1911 45 caliber semi-automatic pistol. He also has a Winchester carbine rifle, essentially, and
2 bags of 12 extra 30 by 30 bullets and a 22 hunting rifle.
Okay. Yep. And he has 2 rifles that. How'd you get those?
Do I make
It
that
should
up?
actually say on here. Your dad probably sent those to you. One is the Winchester was Grandpa's.
My father sent me my grandfather's Winchester and his own 22.
That's right, because you're on a dangerous mission. Do you have any extra guns?
Yeah, I have a Smith & Wesson MVP revolver.
Okay, wow. It's a big revolver. It's a good solid hitting revolver. Bombardier, Collin. Tell us about your guy. You have to speak up now. I've heard you talk loud. I know you can do it.
I'm playing First Lieutenant Michael Ulrich from White River Falls, Wisconsin.
Tell us about him.
Kind of grew up kind of a poor boy from a small town, I guess.
Okay.
Worked as a fry cook, get through high school and college.
It's not one.
I know. Everybody showed up, so we went ahead and started.
Everyone did not show up.
They
When
did.
I got here at 12:15, I only had the
I got
PC open.
Yeah, I got it filled up. Sorry, man. I'm sorry. Don't be mad. If you could take one of these people out at the table, you could play.
You don't want to say that because I could take it out this entire table
I'm sorry.
at the same time.
I said show up early because people will be showing up, and I gotta seat people as they get here.
No, all you said was first come, first served.
Well, right, and
That's what that means.
everybody showed up first. So I'm sorry, Kit.
That's fine. Bye.
See ya.
Sorry, Collin.
Yeah, joined the Army soon after graduating high school. Kind of tall and skinny. Actually have the nickname Rail because of it.
Rail. Okay.
I also have a very large nose and apparently a chin that can break bricks.
Okay. He's not a great-looking guy. How about our flight engineer, Ashton?
I am Staff Sergeant Danny Emerson.
Okay.
I'm also from a small town in Pennsylvania. I'm 6 foot tall and have black hair.
Okay.
And I'm kind of clumsy, but I'm very loyal and protective for
Gotcha.
other guys.
And he's the only non-com on board. Everybody else is officers. Kit. I feel bad, but
Yeah.
at the same time, it's just I didn't have any kind of a setup to sign up procedure. So anyway, all right, April 18th, launch date. You guys are supposed to launch tonight after it gets dark. That should be perfect. 7:38 a.m. It's after morning battle stations drill at dawn before mess. Battle stations sounded again. This time it is not a drill. Where are you guys when this happens? Where do you want to be? You could be up on deck, you could be down below deck, you could be working on the plane, you could be sleeping still, or trying to get back to bed, or heading for the mess hall. Where do you want? We'll start with the pilot. Where do you want to be when this happens? Just where do you happen to be? You can be anywhere on board you want.
Looking over navigational charts, maybe?
Okay, so you're down below decks. How about the
I'm
co-pilot?
reading about below decks.
Okay, you've gone below decks.
Below deck.
Navigator below decks. You've gone back to bed. I'll get a few weeks before breakfast.
Working on the ship.
So you're up on deck. All right, so Ashton, you're the only one that sees one of the big cruisers to the port of the Hornet. Port will be for you guys at this side, which is itself ahead in port of Brandywine. So you got Hornet here, this cruiser, big cruiser beyond it, starts firing away. You see down near the horizon, you see a low-slung ship begin to give off ugly plumes of black smoke. Dive bombers, your own dive bombers are wheeling overhead. Army pilots, man your planes! Comes over the loudspeaker. Army pilots, man your planes! That wakes you up, Collin, because it's like right there in the room with you. Okay.
Heading out.
Okay, you're heading out, Alex. Okay.
Socks.
Head up.
Okay.
Drop my.
All right. Grabbing your gear and just running.
Drop my something. Grab my socks.
Grab my grandfather's rifle.
Grab the guns and you're going. Okay. They could actually be on board the plane if you want.
Yeah, you probably loaded those up.
The flight deck is a hive of activity. Oh wait, you've also got an extra stuff too. And what's on the front of your character sheet under extra gear?
Extra food.
You brought a bunch of.
Vegetables, bread, deli meat.
He's got a big old bag full of just food that he's been keeping on board the plane. Why is that there, Collin?
Always be prepared.
Okay, fair enough. Always be prepared. The flight deck's a hive of activity. The voice over the loudspeakers barks commands. Signal lamps are flashed from on nearby Hornet. A reply is being made from Brandywine. Navy men on deck start taking care of the bombers. Blocks are whipped out from under the wheels. Small vehicle starts to move the bombers into position. Within a half an hour, the B-25s are crisscrossed along the deck like this, so that you can pull it out and just go. Let's see. The weather's good. The sea is rough. The Brandywine has increased speed. She's fairly flying through the water, crashing through the waves. The bombs are brought up from below on carriages. They are loaded onto your planes. Navy men are on top of the tanks of the bombers. They fill up the bombers, and then they like rock the plane to try to get any air bubbles out and continue trying to get as much gasoline in as possible. Brandywine's control tower starts to display large square cards giving compass readings, wind. It's a gale force wind. This wind is just blowing like crazy today. Takeoff instructor goes to each plane. He wishes you guys luck. A Navy man comes along. He brings an additional bundle of 5 additional 5-gallon fuel tins and puts them in. At 8:20, you guys can see from where you are in your plane, the Hornet. She's ahead of you into your port still. You guys are making the same course. Lieutenant Colonel Doolittle's plane is going to be the first one to take off. If he cannot take off, he cannot make a launch from that aircraft carrier, the mission will be scrubbed. Because if he can't do it, nobody can. So you're watching at this time at 8:20. His bomber lurches forward, and his left wing is way over the frickin' side of the ship as he goes heading towards the end. You see that he picks up more speed, and just as Hornet lifts herself up onto a wave, he comes off the end, puts her up on her tail, and goes almost straight up before swinging around the aircraft. I want to do it from your guys' perspective. So straight up, it swings around the aircraft, gets his bearing off of the Hornet, and heads straight for Tokyo. Oh shit! And I forgot. We have to retro something. You guys need to have a discussion about what you want to bomb. I totally forgot about that. So I was just sitting there, you're thinking, I remember last night when we were talking about this, what we were going to bomb.
Do we have a list of potential targets?
Yes, they're actually on
Do
the
you have a
map.
pencil I could grab? Or
I do not have a pencil.
I'm not sure what to write on because I don't want to.
You can do a pen if you want. You can write on this character sheet.
Okay.
You can keep it if you want. Your potential targets are Tokyo. Where are you? Here we go. Tokyo, Yokohama, Osaka, Kobe, or Nagoya. Those are your 5 choices.
About the strategic importance of sites.
Tokyo is the capital.
But
Maybe this is
Osaka-
mainly a morale boost too.
But
You're only
Osaka-
dropping 4 bombs.
But Osaka's the spiritual capital as well, so taking out Osaka could really
Well,
hurt
you'll
the
be
Japanese.
taking. You're not going to take out it. No. Osaka's is on your list of targets.
yeah, but hitting spiritual sites
No,
instead
no,
of
no.
military.
You're aiming for military, industrial sites. There's plenty of factories, warehouses, ships. There might be ships. There are ships probably that you could bomb. But you should pick your targets. We're going to leave kind of vague. That's going to
Yokohama, because that's going to be industrial.
be yeah.
Nagoya is also quite industrial.
They're all industrial areas. It's you want to hit factories,
I think
aircraft
Nagoya
plants.
would be
place you want.
would be a prime place to attack because
Okay.
it's so close to the port that there are probably going to be a connection there.
It's possible.
I say we hit him where it hurts. We go for Tokyo, right in the heartland. Go big or go home.
You
Hey,
could.
don't make any jokes.
Yeah, Tokyo is I definitely would have a morale effect.
Yes.
But it's like people are already targeting Tokyo. So why should we target a place that other people are already targeting?
Maximizing the use of the weapons.
You will be picking like individual targets. We're not going to have individual targets, but you're getting information from Hornet, and you know where they're hitting, and that will also allow you to hit different things than they're hitting. So it's not a matter of, and there's plenty of targets. Like I said, all you got is 4 bombs, and the incendiaries are going to be dropped on civilian areas. So kind of like to get fire started in whatever city you're bombing.
I vote Nagoya as our primary target.
I would say that's not a bad idea, but I think Tokyo would be better. If this is mostly a sort of almost a propaganda type, as opposed to actually trying to kill the data.
No, but we get to say
Well,
we
yeah,
bought the
pretty
mines.
American, you gotta hit him back. Nobody in America knows where Roy is. They know Tokyo.
But like also, if we hit Nagoya while others hit Tokyo, then we get actually our own share of the glory because it's like.
Well, I'm sure there may be others hitting the globe as well.
What do you think,
spread.
Bombardier?
Oh
I
yeah.
think we take on Tokyo. Let's go big or go home.
Sounds like we've got our consensus here.
Okay, so you guys are hitting Tokyo?
Well, what do you guys?
You said you don't care. You said Tokyo. You said Tokyo. I said Tokyo. You said Nagoya.
I think we're
The final decision lies with the captain, but getting a group consensus is always a good idea. I mean, you guys are almost like buddies. You've known each other for months working with these plans.
Yeah, although apparently the flight engineer freaks me out.
Well, we're not, he's not supposed
You don't have
know
to tell that. That's all personal information just for you.
Yeah, those are personal.
your private views about what the other people.
Oh yeah, okay. That's huge. Yeah, like
Hi there.
okay, so Tokyo's the target?
Yep.
Alright.
What's our second?
We'll hit Nagoya next
Oh yeah,
time.
you guys
We'll
can
hit
pick a
Nagoya
secondary too. You can use Nagoya as a secondary, and then you pick certain targets there, and you're probably gonna be able to hit your primary. If something happens for whatever reason you can't hit Tokyo. Kobe is yes, Kobe is a target. I think they're all marked. Aren't they all like marked on that map?
They are. I think
Kobe,
all the
Tokyo.
cities are
Let's
Well,
see.
if-
where's,
Osaka.
Tokyo, Yokohama, Osaka, Kobe, and
Yeah,
Nagoya.
all your targets. are
Okay,
Guys,
yeah.
we're
I'll
flying
show you how
down
to find it.
south after the bomb run anyway.
Yeah, you head due south.
So-
You follow the coast until it actually gets to 29th parallel.
So Kobe?
As I don't know.
As the secondary?
Maybe it's a secondary.
Yeah.
Because that way it's our last.
Wherever you end up
area.
hitting, you're going to follow the coast straight down to right in this area. You want to go straight across, and then these are some of the places that you can try to land.
Yeah.
Yushu, Yushan, eventually to get to Chongqing, which is off this way. This part of China is not actually being held. You can see from this map that this part of China, the Japanese do not control. That's where you're headed. And if anybody needs information on your pistols, weapons, or your ammunition, it's all on this sheet. Especially people with extra stuff. 45 cal, the 45
So
semi-automatic.
Tokyo is our primary, Kobe is our secondary.
Secondary doesn't matter. We're hitting our primary.
You never know. By the time we get there, Tokyo could be maybe destroyed if we need to hit a secondary.
That's terribly doubtful, considering how many.
Tokyo is very
Remember,
big.
the bombers have 4 bombs each.
But you can always pick Kobe as the secondary. You're the navigator, so you can always plot your course and be like, okay, so if we can't hit Tokyo, I know where we're going at least. Screw these guys.
Yeah, well, we're going to Kobe as a secondary.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so boom, back to present day. You're like, oh, yeah, I remember that conversation last night. So Doolittle gets off. He's away. The rest launch from the Hornet. That's 16 other aircraft launch. It is 9:19 a.m. by your watches, your synchronized watches, before the first aircraft launches from the Brandywine. Did you have a question, Mike?
Should have had a some playing.
Yeah, I know. My sound effect stuff have not been quite up to par. Okay. The first aircraft off your ship, you guys know, is commanded by Lieutenant Ralph Connor. They have a little difficulty. They launch up, and then it crashes back to deck before it kind of limps up into the sky, gets its course, and heads towards their target. The second aircraft is piloted by Captain James Eloit. That one's up fine without a problem. Boom, she's gone. Now it's you guys' turn. The Navy man stands on the bow of the ship. He's to the left. He has a checkered flag.
Hey, you went over this well, right?
What?
This thing's gonna get off the plane, isn't it? Off the deck, isn't it?
Yeah, it's totally
Okay.
We are fully
Ship shape. We need to be plane shape.
You guys have intercoms throughout the ship so you can talk to each other during the flight. He gives a signal to begin racing your engine. This has all been planned. He swings the flag in a circle. He makes it go faster and faster. He waits and he times it so that the dipping of the ship, so you're going to get the benefit of the rising deck, Alex. And he finally gives a new signal. You hear the chocks being pulled out by the Navy boys, and then another signal is for you to release the brakes, and then you start like moving forward. The left wing is over the port side. Your left wing. The plane slowly moves forward, tearing through the gale force winds. The left wheel's on a white line, painted there just for that purpose. The right wing barely misses the smokestack and the control house. And then the end of the flight deck is rushing towards, and you get to make me a pilot check.
So, guys, you guys all ready to die?
What is your piloting?
61%.
61?
Pilot aircraft.
Yep, so 61 or less.
I should have said which one was which.
You probably should have. Does it matter?
Yeah, it matters. So
Okay, reroll. Let's just do reroll. What's high?
I'll do yellows. Yellows, the 10s.
Okay, yellow's high.
we launched.
Yay!
Made it? All right, put a little check mark besides that. That was a successful use of that skill. You can put a check by it. We'll go over how you guys increase skills possibly at the end of the game if we have time. All right, so you're up. You launch. You actually zip right up. It's effortless. It's surprisingly easy, actually. You fly around. You fly around the Brandywine, up and around. You come up, heading towards Tokyo. The carrier has a course for Tokyo, so you're heading directly where you need to go. You don't have to make a navigation check yet. There's only one problem. You guys are 250 miles further away than you're supposed to be.
Oh, maybe I should have made a navigation check.
It's daylight, and you were supposed to launch at night, and it was supposed to be a night attack. You're going to be hitting Tokyo around noon. So, yeah, that's not good.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's a bomber.
It's a plane. Let's shoot it.
Yes, and you can probably expect a lot of flak and possibly enemy aircraft attacking you. Whereas before, the whole element of surprise thing is now gone. And for all you know, that whatever that ship was that they blew out of the water might have sent a message ahead. There might be interceptor aircraft on their way, even as I speak. Shit. Okay.
Yeah, that was it.
And it's going to be hard to actually reach China with the gasoline you've got.
Can
You're
I
gonna have to earn your key.
Can we pause for just a second so I can get a drink, and so I can get my bottle, one of my drinks from my bag?
Yeah. Go ahead. You're not going to miss anything important. This is all just kind of background information right now, anyway.
Well, if we're gonna be having problems with our gas, we might change the
Pause for
destination.
that. Why didn't you just bring your bag over?
Yeah, you didn't have to pause. Okay, so
Sorry.
no, you're okay.
I didn't want to miss anything.
What you're going to want to do is fly as slow as possible and still maintain speed. And still maintain height and fly low.
We could ask our navigator to see how are we on fuel.
Yeah, you could check the fuel. It looks like,
Where's fuel?
let's see. You can already start topping off the fuel tanks with your reserve fuel. You have an extra 5-gallon cans. Warm up and take off burned the equivalent of 8 of the 5-gallon cans of gas. And it's still 2,700 miles to China. You can make me a navigation check.
Where's navigation?
Navigation should be under, if they're all in alphabetical order, so it should be under navigation.
Navigate 70.
70% chance.
I
14.
navigate the hell out of that.
It's going to be real tight. You think you might be able to make it to China? Depends on headwinds, tailwinds. It depends on the weather. It depends. Right now it's a beautiful day. It's just gorgeous. which kind of sucks. It's beautiful because it'd be nice if it was overcast and you didn't have to worry about it. And it was cloudy and gross out, but it's just lovely, beautiful day. So if everything works in you guys' favor, you should be able to make it to China. You don't know if you'll be able to make it to any of the airports that you're supposed to get to at this point. But it depends. There's still a lot of factors at work.
Well, it's like if we crash in China outside of Japanese territory.
That would be good too, actually.
Yeah.
You guys all also have parachutes. Nobody's had training, except for like training off of like jumping off of a thing and
Jump off
riding
a
down a
platform.
wire. Yeah, thank you. Jumping off a platform, and sliding down a wire. Nobody has ever had a live parachute jump. So yeah, your parachuting is pretty low. It's because you're a better man than me.
Whoa there!
Anyway.
What are you applying on your parachute?
The pilot goes down with his plane. You don't need a parachute.
You're just.
Ship.
So anyway, you could if you have to, you could bail out, or if you could find a landing place in China that's not one of your regulation landing places. If you can find some fuel, you might have to ditch the plane. There are scuttling charges in the plane, so if you do put down on a landing field and have to go it on foot, you can destroy the aircraft there as well. You don't want it falling into enemy hands. Bombardier, the bomb sight that is normally in this plane was replaced with a 27-cent sight, so that if something went wrong, it wouldn't fall into enemy hands. It works fine. You have to be at 1,500 feet to drop your bombs. You literally cannot drop unless you're exactly the right height. Okay, and you'll be in control of the aircraft during that. No, they removed the Nordens. They don't want it to fall into enemy hands. So they replaced it with a 27. It cost 27 cents to make this bomb sight. You're basically looking through a hole in the bottom of the plane to drop your bombs. But it works. You've tested it. You did extensive training with this remake bomb sight. Okay, so you're going to fly as low as possible, Alex, like 20 feet above the waves. You're flying at a slow speed. You want to conserve your fuel as much as possible, so as slow as you can go without stalling out. The controls feel real sloppy at that speed, but all you're doing is straight lining it anyway, so it doesn't matter. The weather's disgustingly good. After about an hour and a half, you see a Japanese merchantman, it looks like a junk or like a freighter that's about 3 miles to your port side, pretty far away from you. You don't even think they probably see you. You're pretty far away. About 5 hours from launch, you spot the coast of Japan. The island nation lies very low in the water with a slight haze that makes it blend eerily into the horizon. There are several small boats anchored off the beach, including fishing boats and motor launches. As you fly over, there are surprisingly no shots fired at you. You see men and women waving at you as you fly over, actually.
Oh boy.
Just looking up and just waving at your plane. They're like it's surreal. It's bizarre.
Crazy Japs! Let's hit them!
There you go.
Surely they just assume that you are a Japanese plane.
Could be. This is the symbol that American Air Force used back then. Maybe they only see the red dot in the center and are assuming it's the rising sun or some. Who knows?
Let's get away from here before they catch us.
You're going straight line. The white beaches quickly turn into soft, rolling green fields. Everything looks well kept, with little farms fitting in an almost mathematical precision. The fresh spring grass is brilliantly green, and fruit trees are in bloom. Farmers in their fields wave at you as you pass by. There are a lot of hills and valleys, and the safest way to get to Tokyo is to stay in the valleys and then cross over hills as you have to, keeping a low altitude. Your Navigator, you have 70% navigation. I'm not going to make you make any rolls at this point. You know where you're going. He's going to be able to get you there fairly easily. You do spot 2 flights of Japanese aircraft in the sky between the coast and Tokyo. 6 hours after launch, about an hour after reaching Japan. It's a little after noon Tokyo time. It's probably actually about an hour after that you rise up over a hill with a temple atop, and you spot Tokyo Bay ahead. It's huge. You can see. You dip down just above the water because you're staying as low as possible because that's what's going to keep you from getting shot down. The Navigator can give you a course to your first target. And what it's going to do is you're going to fly up. All your targets are close together. So you're going to go up to 1,500 feet. Once you get to where you're supposed to, you hand over control of the aircraft to the Bombardier. You'll be able to control altitude is all. 1,500 feet, you drop your 3 bombs in your incendiary. You drop back down as quick as you can to treetop level, and then you get out of there. You can see smoke rising from Tokyo as you approach it. Big black plumes of nasty smoke. You spot an aircraft carrier in the bay. It's a couple miles away, anchored. You don't see any planes in sight. It takes you 5 minutes to cross the bay. You see some barrage balloons floating up above between Tokyo and Yokohama, which you can see. It's visible on the other side of the bay as well. The bay is filled with yachts and larger ships. And when you pass over Tokyo, you see the city is like very bland. It's like all the buildings look the same, which is going to make finding your targets even harder. Okay. You've almost reached target site. You get to alert the captain of it by interphone. That's when you're turning over control of the aircraft. You flick a switch, it turns over the aircraft to him. All you're controlling is altitude. You can take him up to 1,500 feet at that point. Bomb bay doors are opening. You're getting green lights, Collin.
This is too easy.
Yeah, well, it just got harder because now's when the flag starts appearing in the sky all around you. Although there's not nearly as much as you were expecting or as much as you were told there would be. There's a few, but it's not like boom, 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 boom. It's more like boom.
It's not like you're bombing Tokyo.
Yeah, it's not at all like you're bombing Tokyo. It's like you're hitting like Nebraska or something.
Or Nagoya.
Maybe. Who has the highest luck in the group? Luck should be in the upper right. I know, Ashton's not even looking. She knows it's not him.
I have 70% luck.
70%? Is it he's the lucky guy?
You're gonna
Okay,
be lucky.
I need a luck. We need to make a luck check. We need to make that. 35, you made it. Okay. All right.
You didn't take us to the right one, right?
Seeing all this, I said, flat.
This is luck.
You didn't take us to
There's flat. Flat. But nothing comes even anywhere near close to the flat. It's like the people firing don't even know what they're doing. Okay, Bombardier. Aerial gunnery for your first bomb. That should be one of your skills. Okay, make a roll. Tell me if you make it. Here goes the first bomb. You missed? Okay. You will not know this until towards the end, so make your roll for your second bomb. Your whole bomb run is going to last like 30 seconds. You missed the second one, too. Cool. A charge, no!
What's you bombing?
70.
It's 70%. He knows what he's doing.
No.
You missed all three targets. This happened with the first game that I ran in this. She missed all three targets. Okay, so you're seeing lights come on every time a bomb drops. And the plane seems to pick up speed because these are 500-pound bombs. These are heavy bombs. Collin, give me one last. You're dropping the incendiaries on the residential area as you're leaving the industrial area. Did you hit? 01. Okay. The incendiary is built so as soon as it drops, it like breaks apart into all these little flaming things that spread over a large area. So you actually drop it on a spot that's not already in flames.
We are not dropping a bat bomb. That has never worked.
Bat bomb?
That was a cool idea.
Yeah, they literally stuff bats into a bomb with incendiary charges on them on a time delay.
So
It
they
never
would
made
go
it
down,
to
they would go
actual
down on a
production.
parachute, bomb would
Thank
open
God.
up.
And then they would go
bats
and
would
roost
fly
in
into
the
like the
cow
attics
roofs
and
of
stuff
houses,
like that.
and then it would
Yeah,
go
it
off
was
like
it was
that.
supposed to be very
It was
Genghis
actually very
Khan.
successful.
It
They
sounds
built
like
a
that
lot of
freaking
Tokyo.
helmet that they had in World War
Did
I
they
with a
actually
gun in
do
it
that?
that would break your
I
neck
thought
if
they
you
never
actually
got
fired it.
production. Or they never actually successfully tested it.
And they tested
Oh my god, oh my god. Anyway, red lights blink as each bomb is dropped. There's the shortest delay before you drop the incendiary. You guys don't actually get to see what it gets hit. You're in too big of a hurry. As soon as the incendiary drops, you can flick a switch, or you can call the pilot up and tell him to take control back.
Take control back.
Okay, click. Down you
Got
go.
it, Bombardier.
All right, so you drop back down. The whole bomb run took 30 seconds. You drop back down to like treetop level, and you gun it south in order to make your escape. None of the flak even came close to your aircraft. There isn't very much in the air. There are explosions behind the plane. Boom, boom. You know, as the bombs hit their targets, or miss their targets, as the case may be.